here's how I'm prepping some pre-made, nutrient-dense, frozen smoothies that can be easily defrosted and taken with you on the go. When you have super busy days, these are so convenient. When I make smoothies, I really like to pack in as much nutrition as possible, so these are loaded with greens, berries, nuts and seeds for healthy fats, protein powder, so it's a full balanced meal that fills in so many nutrient gaps. I'm visiting my mom and she's back to work full time now. She works from literally 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. She asked me if I would prep her some smoothies that she can take to work with her and drink on the go. We decided we needed something that could be frozen and then defrosted in the morning. So I'm experimenting with the best way to meal prep some smoothies. I'll show you my discoveries and some recipes I like to make. This one, believe it or not, is orange creamsicle, even though it's green. All right, this first recipe is gonna be a berry vanilla flavor. My mom loves this one. She requested I make this recipe. It's got mixed berries, greens, healthy nuts and seeds, and protein powder. This is my favorite protein powder that I've ever tried. Not only does it have really clean, just 4 simple ingredients, it just adds a nice vanilla sweet flavor, sweetened with monk fruit, so it's no artificial like stevia aftertaste. So I added 4 scoops of this protein powder. I figured out you can get 4 servings if you jam pack the blender to the maximum fill. I like to pack greens in my smoothie as a way to sneak them in my diet, and this sounds weird, but I've been adding arugula into my smoothies because it's one of the best sources of nitrates, which form nitric oxide that is known for lowering blood pressure and improving circulation. I also add in some mixed green and red leaf lettuce that has a much more mild flavor you don't notice as much, rich in vitamin K, lutein, and zeaxanthin, which is good for your eyes. My other favorite green to add to smoothies is bok choy because it also has a mild flavor and it's rich in calcium, and you get the benefits of adding some cruciferous to your smoothie, which have so many benefits for detoxification. Then I add some of this triple berry blend. This has wild blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries. Added a few cups of that along with another cup of frozen cherries. I added about 4 cups of water to blend that up so I could fit in a few more ingredients. I added 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed meal and a big handful of raw walnuts for some healthy high omega-3 fats. Alright, these are the freezer cubes I'm testing out. One box only came with 2 little freezer cubes, but they did work really well. Like, they popped out of these trays really nicely once they were frozen. Then I popped those in the freezer. Since those containers ended up being way smaller than expected, I think what's actually going to be easier is freezing in jars that she can just defrost overnight. I have a feeling this method's actually going to be a lot easier. She just has to remember to put it in the fridge overnight. Hopefully these don't shatter. This brand also makes a single ingredient almond protein that I really like to add into baked goods. If you want something that's super simple, I highly recommend that product. Its only ingredient is almond protein. Recipe number 2 is going to be an orange creamsicle smoothie. I love orange and vanilla together. It just reminds me of those orange creamsicle ice cream bars. And once again, this recipe has a ton of greens and nutrient-dense foods packed in here. For this recipe, to keep the greens flavor at a minimal, I just did bok choy and a mix of red and green leaf lettuce, so it wouldn't be too overpowering. I personally don't use spinach in smoothies because spinach is high in something called oxalic acid, which binds to minerals like calcium and iron and prevents your body from absorbing them. Also, if you're prone to kidney stones, it can be problematic to eat high oxalate foods, so I just prefer to use other greens as a precaution. Then I added about 6 oranges. I did a mix of caracaras and sumo citrus, which is super duper sweet. Mango is great in a smoothie for giving it a really smooth consistency, so I added a bunch of frozen mango. And by the way, I'll have the whole ratios written down in the description box, so check that out. And to make this a creamsicle flavor, I added some vanilla protein powder. 4 scoops, so each shake would have a serving of protein in it. For creamy richness and some healthy fats, I added in some hemp seeds and walnuts, which are a great source of plant-based omega-3s. Lastly, I added 2 carrots to try and bring out the orange color, but it didn't really help. It just stayed green. I added water almost all the way to the top, blended it up until smooth, and then transferred it into some other little cubes I bought. I had some more of this flavor left over, so I also froze this one in the jars as well, and we'll see which method works better. After they're frozen, this is how the smoothie cubes come out. They are really easy to pop out of these molds, especially the silicone molds. They just pop right out. I transferred the cubes into individually portioned out bags, so each bag would be 1 serving, and they're all ready to go for the week. You can have a smoothie every day, taken with you to work, a nutritionally dense, prepared, drinkable meal. And what my mom really wanted was to take this smoothie and just put it in her Yeti cup. So it would defrost during the day. Added a little bit more milk. But this method was a little bit icy. It would be fine if you just want something easy, but for even better consistency, if you re-blend it with some plant-based milk, you get like a super smooth and creamy ice cream texture. Like, seriously, my mom just kept saying it tasted like ice cream. So if you have some extra time to blend this up again, that worked out amazing. So those are the results. Definitely recommend doing 2 blending rounds for best consistency. And this way you can get some really good nutrition into your busy days at work. Alright, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Check out the description box for links and recipes. I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me. Bye!